Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this INFINii presentation. I will be your host tonight. I have the pleasure of spending about the next 25 or 30 minutes with you. My name is Ken Eggleston. I'm the Vice President of Global Sales for INFINii, and we've got an exciting evening of material to go over. I tell you, when you look at the energy behind this company right now, today I was on the phone and on Skype with some of our leaders out of Russia and Germany. Was dealing with our chief operating officer that was over in Germany handling, registration. He's up in Munich getting ready to go down to touch base with 20 other key leaders in the EU. We've got leadership throughout most of the EU now starting to take root, separate from, of course, all the other leaders everywhere. And in addition to that, just now launching into getting Colombia registered, as well as a number of other Latin American countries and South America. I mean, it is just such a freaking phenomenal time. And that's putting aside all the incredible volume that we see going on throughout the rest of the globe and the established countries we're in. So guys, without delay, if you're here as a guest, sit back. You're going to see something that I believe strongly is going to forever impact and change your life if that's what you're looking for. And we all recognize today, that a revolution is happening. You literally have to be living under a rock not to recognize that we're living in an unprecedented time of change, and it's like never before in history. Technology used to, shift. You'd see technology move every 50 years, and it was every, 20 years, every 10 years. Now you're seeing technology take massive leaps forward every 6 months. And because of that, industries and economies are shifting, and technology is replacing, if not quite honestly, crushing the old economy. And around the world, we find a lot of the generations right now struggling to earn a living in this new economy, especially those that are, 40 to 65 years of age. Because when they were in school, technology really wasn't attached to you. Like you see the kids today, technology is with them from, the time they really start going to school. But that sector, has really struggled a little bit to get going. But this is the key that we're looking at. Millions around the world are struggling because of this and for other reasons. We're talking about a global economic Titanic level problem. And that was according to CNN Money. And when you hear a news source talk about a titanic problem being associated with a global economy, we all recognize that's the ill-fated cruise liner that took so many unfortunate individuals to their death in the early 1900s when it sank. Well, that's a heck of a comparison to have with the global economy, but I think it's pretty much spot on. We've got in the U.S. over 1 million bankruptcies filed in 2013. You could look at 2012, 2011. Going back, those numbers are consistently the same and continuing on right now. And quite honestly, in the U.S., we're seeing a lot of talk about it, the next bubble about to pop in the housing market, and that's a consistent issue. We've all seen those stock market across the world. If China sneezes, the U.S. catches a cold. Same happens in the EU. This is truly a global atmosphere, and the Euro unemployment, some of the demographics now for unemployment are exceeding 45%. I mean, look at what's going on in Spain and Greece. And then you've got the refugee issue pouring in. Germany, which is really the controlling factor financially for the EU market, is feeling the strain across the board. And this problem isn't going to go away. It's only going to get worse. 600 million jobs required within the next decade, according to several different publications. And right now, there's at least 200 million out of work, according to the International Labor Organizations. So, this is a fairly bleak picture when you start to look at it. And again, referencing back to the U.S., that has had the strongest middle class over time. And over several decades, we're looking right now at seeing that it's shrinking, and it's not just shrinking a little bit, it's massively being crushed down in size. And when you look at the hourly wage earning middle class employee, we've been able to see that from the 1970s to now, in real spending dollars, they've only had a 6% increase in actual dollars that they're getting paid. $19 to $22 per hour is the range right now. and it's crushing here within the U.S. Most of the salaries now are averaging for a worker somewhere around $30,000 a year. It's dramatically shrinking the middle class in all the developing countries. So, what's happening in the U.S. I mean, look at Great Britain, look at the EU, look at Germany, China right now. I mean, if you spend some time reading any of the main articles out there that are following right now what's happening in China, it's a scary thing that's happening within the financial markets. So you're probably sitting there right now going, okay, well, this is a heck of a way to sit down and enjoy my evening. Well, the good news is, folks, that doesn't have to be our future. And if you're part of the INFINii family, it won't be. See, for every downturn, there is an upturn. Think of the Great Depression. What happened? Some of the greatest amassing of wealth occurred during that period of time. Well, and for every dying economic empire, a new one is born. And that's exactly what took place at that time. And in every massive recession and or depression, there have always been the people that recognized what needed to be done. And if they got themselves positioned, they were able to ride the wave while the masses went ahead and suffered the pain. Well, Origin of Species talks about it this way. It's not the fittest that survive, but those who are most adaptable to change. And the reason why I have that up there is because INFINii is looking for the leadership site of the entrepreneurs out there that are what we call adapters. If any of you read a lot of books, I'm sure you've already read The Tipping Point. One of the most profound books that's out there and discusses, the right timing, and if you're an adapter, what it can mean to you if your timing is right. So let's talk about some early adapters and what's happened to them. Uber, kind of a strange word the first time I heard about it, and I kind of laughed when somebody told me, yeah, there's a taxi service, but they're not in taxis. People pick you up in their personal cars. I remember dismissing it and thought it was some type of a Facebook, urban legend going around. And then, you see that, hey, this is the real deal. Somebody came up with this concept in 2009, and their circle of friends probably fell over laughing at them when they talked about this. But that entrepreneur looked forward and said, I see it, I'm going to do it, and guess what they did? Today, a market valuation, according to the Wall Street Journal, $50 billion, and they don't own a single car. Folks, you can see what I'm doing. Think outside the box, and people that do realize incredible results. Let's move over to Airbnb. You may not have even heard of it, but yet it's the largest accommodation provider in the world today, founded in 2008, and they don't own a single piece of real estate. It's a market valuation of $25.5 billion. Want to make yourself crazy? Go Google Airbnb later and see the concept of what they've done, renting out other people's homes or apartments while they're out of town for other travelers. It's incredible. And of course, this third component sitting right there is INFINii. And we're going to show you how to capitalize on the next mega trend if you're the type of person that's thinking and ahead of their time. Now, here's how that is affecting the world of retail. We know that when we look at Airbnb, we look at Uber, these are all technology advances. The regular malls are a thing of the past in many cases, except for the mega malls. But when we begin to look at the giants within North America with regards to shopping, and they have footprints around the world, but look at Walmart, including Black Friday sales and everything else, down 30%, Target 3%, Macy's 39%, Sears 33%, and Best Buy 18%. These are cornerstone names, with a whole bunch of arrows pointing down, and retail businesses are getting hit literally with a knockout punch in many ways, but there's one sector that's absolutely exploding at the same period of time and has been. Let's take a look at e-commerce, but more importantly, Amazon.com. That's a big 117% heading in the opposite direction. And guys, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to realize if all the other ones are in red going down, but there's a big one in green going up 117%, and it's tied into e-commerce, that might be an indication of something that we all should pay attention to. So, let's really talk about online sales as a whole. We all know that they're exploding. We know that we hear about all the growth that's going on, and it's over $300 billion in the U.S. alone. in combined sales during 2014 for Amazon, eBay, Google, and Facebook. But when we take that thought and think of $300 billion where people shop but didn't leave their houses to do it. They simply did it from their tablet, their iPad, their phone. But imagine, and most people could never do this, imagine if we could find a way to create an avenue where those companies would work for you. Now, again, I said those companies working for you, finding the customers, processing the payments, delivering the products, and issuing the customer support. I think you'd agree that would be something that would be pretty exceptional if it was even possible. Well, that huge shift that's taking place from offline to online has provided us with the INFINii opportunity. And this is what we're talking about. With many major brands rapidly making the move from, to online, they're all recognizing, and, they're launching their affiliate websites and they're doing their different things, but guess what? It's not making a huge impact for them. They need a social system to get it done. They have to figure out the formula. And our founder and CEO, first got certified by Microsoft when he was 12 years of age. I mean, he's literally a prodigal genius with regards to what I've watched his online capabilities be. And if he was on the phone or if he's listening right now, I know he's upset about me even talking about him that way because he's a very humble individual. But I will tell you that we've been blessed with having a true genius behind the integral parts of programming to put this company into position to do what it's going to do, and that's critically important. There was the Bill Gates, there were other players that had to be at the right place at the right time, and folks, INFINii is going to leave that mark for Hitesh Junja, which is our CEO. And e-commerce is the pathway, the runway that INFINii is taking off and going down in a very large 747 because it's $1 trillion global industry and it's creating previously unavailable opportunities for profit for most of us. Let's take a look at the spending internationally. USA is $349 billion, Canada $27 billion, France $43 billion, UK $99 billion, Germany $62 billion, China $672 billion, Korea $39 billion, Japan $90 billion. You can see where I'm going with this. Brazil $20 billion, Australia $19 billion, and we could just keep going from country to country to country. It's not going to stop. It's interconnected. This isn't something where, well, it'll be up today, down tomorrow, etc. No, this runway is done, and it's just going to keep running and taking off. And the research firm eMarketer is actually projecting that the global e-commerce sales are going to eclipse $3.5 trillion within the next few years. So, our question to you is, how much of that 3.5 trillion would you like? Now, you might be sitting there saying, well, that's a pretty bold statement for this company to make. How much of the 3.5 trillion would you like? How do they know? They're a relatively new company starting up, so this all sounds great, but what's the reality behind it? Well, folks, that's why I like to tell you that when you begin to understand INFINii, you start to recognize this is not a new company, folks. This company actually launched its first subsidiary called DS Domination over 2 years ago. So you want to know how well we're doing? This was taken in, it started in September 2013. This particular graph here and picture was just from November of 2015, and we had already hit 2 billion in member sales to date, and those members utilizing our systems had profited over $380 million. And folks, just in the short period of time, since the end of October going into November, we've now already hit 2.4 billion and on our way to just about hit 2.5 billion and beyond. So this thing's on fire and it continues on. Now, I've got a very special guest I'm going to bring on tonight. Her name is Becky Thames, and Becky is just an amazing lady, mother, wife, and when you start to understand her story, and I'm going to bring her on in a couple of minutes, but I want you to get remember this picture. This young lady, that's $207,000 that she has made through the affiliate and e-commerce income of the INFINii platform through the DS domination. Such an amazing story, but the reason why I'm introducing her early is I want you to realize this is the real deal. And by the way, that's Mr. Hitesh Junja on the right side, our CEO, and that's Kevin Hokawana on the left of Becky right there, our Chief Marketing Officer and also one of the founders. Just an absolute great individual on both sides. So folks, keep that in mind, and I'm going to walk you through exactly how Becky did it. So the INFINii model, our system allows you to generate profits with no inventory. Now think about that. Every other home-based business model out there, they're asking you to buy the $2,000 or $3,000 starter pack or whatever it is, load up all the products, run around, talk to your friends and family about shakes, about skincare, about coffee, lotions, potions, whatever you want. But the reality is, do you really want it to go ahead and bother your friends with stuff they're already buying from other places? Well, that's not the case with INFINii. In addition to that, no upfront costs, another huge factor. No traffic generation. You're going to understand that if you're not real familiar with the online world, you might be getting worried. You don't have to be an online expert. There's no shipping and management involved. And the INFINii model, as I said before, is proven with now 2.5 billion sales in over 2 years. And our stats show that our members earn 6 times more than other individuals on eBay that are trying to sell on the platform, and 7.2 times more on Amazon than the other average sellers. So INFINii clearly has the model in place. More importantly, we also have the right legal team behind us. Those of you that are within the network marketing industry or home-based industry recognize Kevin Thompson as one of the premier attorneys within the industry. He's been voted amongst the top 25 most influential people in direct sales. He's recognized as one of the best MLM attorneys, and INFINii is truly honored to have received Kevin Thompson's endorsement. And Kevin said that he's never actually come out and endorsed a company before. Now think of all the companies that he represents in the industry, but he's never actually come out and endorsed a company before. And the reason why Kevin endorsed INFINii is because when you see that $2.5 billion in sales, those are all customers at the other end of those sales. Those aren't distributors that got into a deal to try and make money and then they're buying their own products in the upline and the company's just overall counting all their sales. This is a model where it is 100% in contact with the customer base, and that is why Kevin Thompson said to our founders that, you know what, this is a blueprint for what a true home-based business model and successful network marketing company should be, which is something that we're very, very proud. So if you're ready for a better way, INFINii might be the one for you. INFINii System is unlike any other in the world as we've talked about. It's simple. It's automated way to profit on Amazon, Google, and eBay. It's without spending hours per day on technical tasks. I can tell you this, folks, I turned 50 in August, and I'm not a big computer person. Usually when I sit down, if I have a problem, who's the first person I'm calling? My kid, to try and work out the computer. You don't have to be an expert on this, and that's why INFINii created the platform that it did. And you don't have to become a marketing expert. And you're not chasing friends and family because, again, you're not trying to get them to switch from their favorite coffee to your coffee. You're not trying to get them to switch from yours, from their skincare cream to your wrinkle-free cream, or from your vitamins or from their vitamins at GNC to your vitamins or weight loss or whatever. When they get on it, then they quit 90 days later. None of that. All of your friends and family are already shopping on Amazon, on eBay, already having stuff delivered. You're merely going to step into a conversation that's already taking place within their household and provide them with a means that they can go ahead and easily go ahead and create a strong residual income, even if they're not a member of the business. And I'm going to explain that, but remember that. Create a strong residual income even if they're just a customer and they're not building a team with INFINii. That's a huge difference from any other company. So, with INFINii, we add quality to your life, and what we say is give us 60 minutes per day in the beginning, and you can get this thing to take off and run. Now, the system is as simple as this. our CEO had some fun with me when he was first doing this, and he sat me down, and of course I've been in the network marketing industry on the executive side and as a top producer in the field for the last 20 years, and I said, I just don't see the big picture here. And he goes, Ken, and I'm sure this wasn't a direct correlation to me, but he said, Ken, let me introduce you to a monkey. And he said, let's talk about this monkey on Amazon. And you could imagine my expression when he first did this to me, but he said, pay attention, this is $8.96 for that monkey on Amazon. I said, okay, Hitesh, I've got it, $8.96 monkey on Amazon, great. He said, then you take a look at our platform. Now give it a chance, Ken, and understand, open your mind, because a closed mind never gets anywhere. A parachute, if it doesn't open, isn't going to help the person, it's going to smack into the ground. So open your mind like a parachute and take a chance to learn something. So I sat back with kind of a little bit of a look on my face, and I said, okay. And he said, all right, you've got our system. Now we look over on eBay. We find this same monkey selling for $17.98. He goes, now this is an example right now, but this can apply to everything. So he goes, so there's a difference of $9.02 between these two identical items on different platforms. And he goes, and people, when they go to Amazon, they don't shop around, look for the best price, and then jump over to eBay. They go on to Amazon, they look, they select, and they move on. That's the case for 95% of people. So, imagine now that it's not the one monkey. It's all the monkeys being sold. And he says, look at how many monkeys this exact monkey have sold. And you look up and you start to see these numbers. And so I go, okay, I get it. It's not the $9.02. It's the compounding effect. So he says, well, let's look at this. AliExpress, you have a leather wrap for the mobile phone, and that's selling over there at $3.52. And on Amazon, a very similar product is at $28.99. It's very similar, difference of $25.47 if you get this over there and put it in next to this item, because people, as they're looking, if they see a $25 difference, do you think they're probably going to look over at your product? Well, of course. So you start looking at what you can do, and then you take the numbers, you get a comfortable profit margin, and with this it's $25.47, and you go ahead and start looking and say, okay, this system seems like it could possibly work. Then he adds in, how about scanning and selling items? Do you know any ladies that like to shop? And of course I smiled at him, and he said, ladies love to shop, but they're also very meticulous shoppers, many of them. They go through, they know what they're looking for. Well, imagine if rather than doing that, they enjoyed having the ability to shop, scan items, and immediately know what those items were selling for on Amazon, and could go through and begin to create profit for themselves. Imagine if ladies had a shopping party at their house where they had to get together, good time, and then you took a number of ladies out and then went out and showed how to make a couple $100 on a shopping trip rather than spending, making. It's incredible. So you simply scan the items in, like we're looking at, you load it on Amazon to sell, and you collect the profits, $24.85. You sell it on Amazon for $39.50. It's a profit of $14.65. So the INFINii income potential, you've got your new part-time business. Now you've got Amazon and eBay. Remember the monkey, $9.02. You got the international site on the phone, leather phone wrap, $25.47. You've got the shop and scan profit of $14.65. So in profit of $49.14. Now you're not going to retire on that right away, but guess what happens? You do that 50 times in a month, and that's $2,470, folks. And sometimes we think in large terms but forget that the average bankruptcy could be avoided with $500 of additional income per month. You minus the Amazon fees out of that, that's a profit margin of $2,150 a month. And thinking back to Betsy, that check was a lot bigger than $2,150 a month. And with that, what I want to do is really come back now to Becky. And I want to talk about her. I want to talk about her husband, Bud, right there. And I happen to love this because myself, I'm a retired law enforcement officer. And Bud there is clearly from his uniform, he's a battalion chief. And what Becky has done here, and she's done this part-time, folks, is amazing to me. So Becky, are you on with us? Becky, if you could unmute your line.
Hi, Ken. Can you hear me?
I've got you now, Becky. It's such a pleasure to have you here tonight.
Thanks for having me.
No, I tell you what, thank you for coming because I've followed you. I watched you when you collected this check on stage, and you have a full-time job. You've got two children. You've got all this stuff going on, and in your full-time job, you're a director, I believe, at a water plant, and you've got a whole bunch of things going on. So Becky, do me a favor, tell the audience, what you do for your main job. Tell us how you were introduced to INFINii, and then tell us when you started and how it's going and how you've done this. I mean, that's an incredible income that most people would dream of making in a year.
Okay, so I am the laboratory director for a local water and wastewater plant here in Charleston, South Carolina, and this is my 20 years in the industry, so I absolutely love my job. The first question that I always get asked is, well, Becky, if you're making all that money, why are you still working? And my answer is simple, because I love it. I love the people that I work with. I love the management of the organization, and I like protecting the public with clean drinking water. So that's why I have my job, and I get asked that probably 10 times a day. Now, how I found out about this e-commerce training was January of 2014. So I just celebrated my 2-year anniversary. It was tax time. And I have been in a home-based business before, back in 2008. And when you're in a home-based business, you get really nice tax write-offs for a home-based business. Well, in January 2012, we had zero. So I looked at my husband, Bud. I said, Bud, we have to do something for tax write-offs. So I was on Facebook, and I was playing Candy Crush, and I played Candy Crush a lot. And I saw this post about Amazon and eBay, and it invited me to a webinar similar to this one, and I went, and I watched it, and I was like, wow, that's such a brilliant business model. And it was a Google Hangout, so they had all these panelists down at the bottom, and they were the 10K in 90 days, or 10K earners, and I was like, if they can do it, I know I can do it. I signed up immediately. I took imperfect action. I was so excited I did not even watch the training. I just jumped right in and started doing that. Big mistake. I do not recommend that you do that. The training is there for a reason. So I recommend that you watch the training. It's very simple. You watch it. You can stop it, rewind it, fast forward it, and just do the action steps. So that's how I was introduced, and that's what I do for my career. So fast forward now, my e-commerce business is on autopilot. So not only do you learn how to drop ship, and you can learn how to shop for profits, but what I do is truly time freedom, because I have branded our own products. They are shipped directly to Amazon from the manufacturers here in the United States, and I have some products from China, so I don't even touch them, and I just get a deposit every 2 weeks.
So Becky, you mean you went from knowing nothing about e-commerce, seeing an ad on Facebook in January of 2014, and turning a part-time business while holding down a full-time executive position with the city waterworks department into this type of income, and now you're actually direct sourcing products, and you're doing what's called fulfillment by Amazon. Could you explain what exactly is fulfillment by Amazon? Because I know when I used to go to Amazon, I would click on it, I'd order a product, and I thought Amazon owned the product and they were shipping it to me, and chances are that I was buying from a DSD member.
Yes. So Fulfillment by Amazon, when you actually go to Amazon, what you see, it will have the little Amazon Prime symbol by that. And what that means is that the product is actually in a warehouse that Amazon owns. So sometimes you will see a product and it will say sold and shipped by Amazon. And that means that Amazon owns that product. But then you may see some that say Amazon Prime, but sold by ABC company. Well, these third-party sellers like myself from ABC Company are who you're actually buying from, but you think that you're purchasing from Amazon. And they do
That's
all the packing and shipping and customer service and returns. They handle everything for you.
so you're not even touching the product, and the INFINii platform shows you through the training and everything exactly how to walk through this process.
Yes. Now, when I first ordered the product, being a quality control person that I am, I did have it shipped to my house to test the quality. Once the quality was good, it directly goes to my manufacturer now. I mean, to Amazon from the manufacturer.
That's incredible. And so is that why your husband's, kind of got a smirky look on his face there, like, yeah, this is my woman who's making twice what I make per year, right? I mean, he
Very
must
much.
absolutely love what you do. Does he help out?
He does. He is an amazing, amazing man. We have two very active boys. He wins the Father of the Year every day, so he's a good day. But he's very supportive of our business, and we call him the Vice President of Logistics.
Well, Becky, I tell you, thank you so much for coming on. And do you have any parting words for everybody? Because right now you've got, well over 1,000 people that are listening in to you right now.
My parting words would be, don't procrastinate. Just sign up today. Take imperfect action. And I don't know, you may do just like me or even better.
Awesome. Becky, thank you so much, dear.
Thanks.
All right, guys. When you get the opportunity to see somebody like Becky, who had a full-time position as an executive working for a city, had her husband as a battalion chief, and added this in a part-time basis, and within 2 years has a multiple six-figure income. And I didn't even bother asking because I already, kind of tracked Becky's business, and that check's going to be a lot bigger at our upcoming convention, which we're expecting to have in June. I'm not going to announce any further details on that, but just kind of circle that June timeframe on your calendar. It's coming, that announcement. So, your dream business. Think about Becky's dream business. Think about your dream business. Build it from home. Oh, guys, by 2020, they're saying that over 40% of the population will be working from home. It's just a question of what they're going to be doing. They want to set their own hours. You can set yours. Video and live training, everything is included. Think of it as a concept of homeschooling like it's being done with so many kids today. Well, this is teaching yourself how to do something. We're not saying give up your job. We're not saying anything else. We're saying give us 60 minutes a day and follow the blueprint that's laid out for you by some of the best e-commerce experts in the industry. Stop doing the commuting. Get rid of the boss. Get rid of the stress. You're never going to earn what you're worth working for somebody else, because you know what? As long as you're working for that other person, you're building their dream and not your own. I got to tell you that one of the nicest things I get to do is have a cup of coffee in the morning. I walk out on the back deck, I look over the pond, and I see the massive traffic of people getting up, having to jump in their car and drive to work and fight that long commute, and they're just miserable on the way in. So, this is the key to you changing that. So we're not talking about some possibility of a business that might work and might not work. Folks, we're talking about utilizing some of the giants that are out there, eBay, Amazon, Google, and others, and you can start this process off at what we call the prime level. We could easily say, okay, to get started, it's going to be a minimum of $500. You're going to get this, going to get that. It's not the way the founders do things here. We have this set up so even if you're in a terrible financial situation right now, you can start with us for just $49.95 per month for the subscription. And remember, this is a subscription to a platform. This platform operates for you continuously month after month, and all you're going to do is pay that monthly subscription to have access to the platform. So at the prime level, for less than what you would spend on a cup of coffee a month, matter of fact, the average person who's a 2-cup-a-day coffee drinker is spending $130 a month on coffee right now, Starbucks and everything else. So anybody can afford this, folks. This teaches you how to create an account on eBay, select an item to sell, create your listing, managing a sale. On Amazon, it's creating your account, using the Amazon app. On Google, creating an account. You've got all these different things, plus you have our expert trainers in here. You'll meet Carly once you enter our platform, and Carly you're just absolutely going to love. She's an e-commerce expert. You'll see a lot of the training by Kevin Hokawana from our Chief Marketing Officer. It is just incredible. Now, the prime level is for somebody who's just going to stick their toe into the water. The surge level is for the one who's right away says, okay, it's pretty obvious that eBay, Amazon, and all these things know what they're doing. And it's pretty obvious that INFINii knows what it's doing, since its members have already sold over $2.5 billion now in product, and they've realized profits of over $380 million. And so this is something I think that I want to get a little more serious about. So that is our surge level. That's $149.95. And when you look at the $149.95, that gives you advanced e-commerce training. Now realize it gives you everything that's in Prime as well. And then on top of Prime, you get this, advanced e-commerce training. Learn how to get to the top of your eBay searches, eBay social signals to increase sales, master eBay with expert strategies, maximize profits from keywords, targeting Facebook. Obviously, we heard how Becky got started. That was through Facebook. Facebook and the social media is a powerful, powerful thing. You've got Amazon pay-per-click. You've got advanced analytics. Just go on, and it's $149.95. So again, about equivalent to what the average coffee drinker spends on Starbucks a month right now. You can go ahead and put yourself on a path to accomplish your financial or time freedom dreams. And then after we have the surge level comes the Excel. Excel is kind of the Super Bowl dynamic. It's like, okay, you're ready to get in this, you're ready to run. Excel is $399.95 a month. The value on this is literally several thousands of dollars per month if we were going to charge the appropriate amount, because the platform has taken several millions of dollars to get to the point where it's at now. Now, I want to stress this. Unlike other companies where I would try and focus you on Excel because you're thinking, okay, here's the pitch for the high dollar, I'm going to shock you right now and tell you I don't recommend 90% of people to start here. I recommend the surge, which is the level we were just talking about right here. This is the level that I recommend coming in, getting started, and really focusing on. And then as you make money, you're going to jump up to the Excel. Now, if you happen to be very computer literate, if you happen to already be on e-commerce, if you happen to have eBay or Amazon accounts currently, and you want to kick this thing in gear, then Excel is absolutely the place to be at. But I want you to understand that we've set this specifically at 3 different levels. So if you're looking at this just from a customer product, remember, you can go out and build your whole e-commerce business and just be a customer of INFINii. But there's also the partner side, which is the business side, and I'm going to get to that momentarily. So you've got 3 separate platforms to select, and all you have to do is decide what you want to do. But remember, as Becky also commented on, this qualifies as a home-based business. So speak to your CPA or tax consultant, and I think you'd be surprised of the type of savings that can come to you as well. Now, on top of all of this, we obviously have our training, but not only online through video and training libraries and the e-commerce masterclass, which you're going to get very interested in here shortly, but you're also looking at Saturday morning trainings that we have online. But we're going to be doing global platform trainings. We're talking throughout the EU, Germany, throughout Asia, Hong Kong, Australia, obviously into North America and into South America, as I mentioned before, with registration currently underway already in Colombia. And the live events are going to be a very, very important platform piece. And that's where the Masterclass Series comes into play. This Masterclass Series is something that if you're serious about this, you're going to want to participate in. I'm amazed to see us hold a webinar and literally have thousands of people show up to gain access to these because people understand that e-commerce is the future. And you need to enroll in the Masterclass to pursue becoming an expert e-commerce and get certified in that. And why are you going to want to do that? Because you could become an INFINii certified e-commerce trainer and open up the opportunity to travel the world with us, empowering others. If you like helping other people, if you like talking with other people, and more importantly, if you just like sharing prosperity and good fortune and helping all the people in the world out there that are looking, and we went over those numbers early in the presentation, the doom and gloom out there, we're tired of hearing it. We can find our path, and it's sitting right in front of us. So imagine traveling the world with INFINii to be teaching in front of these different groups, and you're going to have thousands upon thousands of people attending these events. Imagine when you advertise going into a city an eBay and Amazon training course. People will show up just to try and learn because they know it works. So what do you need to do? Number one, select your platform, whatever fits your needs, Prime, Surge, or Excel. It doesn't matter to us what you do here. It needs to be the right choice for you. Now, Prime is, again, for the person just sticking their toe in the water. Surge is for the person who recognizes, yeah, this makes sense, and I need to have some good content here to build. That's the sweet spot within the offering, in my opinion, is Surge. And then Excel, absolutely great value, and if you already know what you're doing, you want to jump right in there. Now, those are the products. Now understand, you can do the business with us by simply introducing other people to this as well. And that business doesn't cost an additional $1,000 or $2,000 to get started, folks. It's $9.95 a month to be a partner with INFINii. So realize the Prime, Surge, and Excel, that's the product. And we're all customers of the product. And then a percentage of us choose to also build the business. And I'm going to show you right now why I think you should consider building the business as well. So if you're only interested in being a customer, this would be the end of that part of the presentation. But stick around and just take a look at what our founders have done for incentivizing you to spread the word about INFINii. We have seven incredible rewards that you qualify for, starting off with the Fast Start bonus. You can earn 15% on the product purchases. So if somebody comes in at Prime level, $50, you get 15% of that on their first monthly membership. At Surge, $150, you'd make $22.50. At if somebody comes in at Excel at $399, you make 15% on that. It's that simple. And then we build the team in a two-team structure. Do you see that structure directly to the right? It's a simple structure. You only have two teams to build. Now we also have what we call beginner bonus, and that Fast Start then moves to beginner bonus, and we want you to make up to an additional $1,000 a month outside of the normal comp plan just on the beginner bonus. Now the beginner bonus is a limited time bonus that we have in place right now, but it's a very, very powerful piece. Number 3 is what we call our dual team bonus. And folks, this is where it starts to get serious. Those of you who have experience in the network marketing or home-based industry know the power of this. Imagine we've taken INFINii, which is an e-commerce giant. We've bolted on the hottest compensation plan in the industry with a 70% payout to the field. And the products, such as the membership levels or subscription levels, are on a 1-to-1 point to dollar ratio. Now those of you in the industry know how big that is. Now the dual team bonus will pay you up to $50,000 a week. Folks, that's $200,000 a month just from one of the bonuses within this platform you could earn up to. Then we have the INFINITI Pay bonus, which is 5% on each personal enrollment line. Now if you're in the industry, that jargon means unilevel. If you're in, and you're going to realize how powerful it is to have a unilevel that actually pays to infinity. It's just simply unheard of. If you have no exposure to the industry as of yet, don't worry about it. We have a full training program and video in the back office so you can fully understand the rewards program as we go through it. So the INFINITI Pay program is just absolutely huge. 5% to infinity. What that means is in each person you've personally introduced, anybody they introduce to INFINii, and so on through unlimited levels of depth, could be 5,000, 10,000 people over time, all of their BV from their subscriptions, plus we have it worked in that there's a percentage on sales that are made on eBay and the other platforms through our e-commerce platform, that creates business volume through that, and you're earning 5% on it. So, 5% is a lot when you start to consider the amount of volume that has already gone through this platform and will continue to grow. And then we again have number 5 with our global bonus, which is earning from a total global revenue pool that's shared with people that are at the mid-level ranks through upper ranks of the company. Then we add on an elevation bonuses starting as early as the director level, which is an early rank. We actually have $10 million in bonuses set up. So, you have to think to yourself, how could a company possibly afford to pay out $10 million in bonuses? Well, obviously we have that staggered from the early ranks all the way up through the top ranks, but it's because you are driving the business into INFINii, and this is a massive platform on a global stage. So, INFINii and the founders recognize that if you pay people what they're worth, they will do incredible jobs. And this is exactly what we're talking about here. You finally being paid what you're worth. And then the last one is what we call the golden hammock bonus, which is a residual income for up to 10 years once you hit certain ranks within the platform. Don't worry about that now. If you come on with us, you're going to find out about that in the training. Just know it's unprecedented when you start to really understand this. So, the question I have for you is, look where you were 5 years ago. Now look where you are today. And then the question I would pose is, if you do the exact same thing, where will you be in 5 years? Today is a day that you can look yourself in the mirror, look at your spouse and say, you know what, enough is enough. I'm tired of merely surviving paycheck to paycheck. I want to live. I don't merely want to exist. I mean, you want to walk the beaches of the world with your spouse. You want to take them on vacations. You want to stop fighting over the bills. You want to provide for the kids. Maybe you want to take care of your parents. I mean, all of these dynamics are coming into play, and INFINii has the plan sitting right in front of you for you to take. So contact the member who shared this presentation with you, or go back to their personalized website and you can enroll directly on the site. Number 2, when you go to enroll, again, select your Prime, Surge, or Excel level. Then number 3, you're going to win, once you enroll, you're going to want to go back in and you're going to want to learn about that $20,000 director bonus that you earn very rapidly. Now the key here is, unlike other companies, a bonus like that, you'd usually have to come in at the Excel level in order to be at that bonus. Go look at other companies' offerings. Not only can they not touch us in any other area, but they always force you to come in at the highest level if you want to qualify for bonuses. Folks, it doesn't matter to us if you come in at Prime, Surge, or Excel. Everybody's treated the same, and that bonus is available to everybody. So with that, I'll close this out by telling you, look at this picture. Focus on the image. And basically what it says is so true. When writing the story of your life, don't let anyone else hold the pen, especially your boss. Take control of your life. God didn't put you on this planet to go ahead and be somebody else's gerbil running on an endless spinning wheel. You're put on this world to be exceptional. Allow INFINii the ability to set you free. Once again, thank you for tuning in with us tonight. It's been my pleasure, and I hope you'll come join us again. I'll look forward to meeting you at the next major INFINii event and also online within our community. Have a great night.